there are 4 factories given, and production and raw material costs differ from factory to factory are given in the following table. The transportation cost from the factories to the sales depot S1, S2 and S3 are also given. The selling price and the total requirement at each depot, as also the product capacity of each factory is also stated. Determine, if you see what is the question here, determine the most profitable production and the distribution schedule and the corresponding profit. Okay, they said determine the most profitable production and distribution schedule and the corresponding profit. The surplus production should be taken to yield zero profit. Details are given to you of production cost per unit, raw materials. So production cost per unit is your variables, that is wages and other variable overheads. Plus the raw material cost is given. Transportation cost per unit to the 3 sales depot S1, S2 and S3 are given. Production capacity in units is also given to you. So what we will do is, we'll make a small assumption here. This will normally be given to you in the question. Use VAM. For these types of problems, always make use of VAM. That is Vogel's approximation method. Okay. Now, the question here is to maximize the profit, to find out the most profitable production and distribution schedule. So what we will do is, we are concerned with the transportation cost also, and we are supposed to calculate the profit also. So if I'm trying to maximize the profit, obviously it will be trying to minimize the cost. Okay, so that is one aspect, but at the same time I want to also ensure that the transportation cost is also not going to be very high. So I have to minimize the transportation cost also. So what do we do in such a case for such types of problems? This is actually a different type of problem. So how do we solve these types of problems? Because I am not given the cost over here. I am given the question as maximization of profit. So maximization of profit, how it is to be done, that I have to see. Plus at the same time, the most profitable production and distribution schedule. So on one hand, I'm trying to maximize the profit, which means I'm trying to minimize the cost. And on the other hand, I will be having the transportation cost also to be kept minimum. So what we do is, we will first calculate what is called as the profit matrix. Okay, we'll calculate what is called as a profit matrix. Now, how do we calculate the profit matrix? The profit matrix is calculated by taking the selling price. For example, now you have S1 selling price given to you. That is 34 rupees. Okay, 34 rupees minus for factory 1, production cost 15, raw material cost 10, and transportation cost 3. 15 minus 10 minus 3. Okay, so that will give me the cost. Sorry, profit. Selling price minus all the cost will give me the profit. So like this, I will be calculating the profit for all the particular aspects. That is for all the cells. So next I will be calculating 34 minus 18 minus 9 minus 9. Then I will be calculating 34 minus 14 minus 12 minus 5. Like this I will be calculating. Then for S2 I will be taking selling prices 32. So from 32 I will minus all this. Okay. So first I will prepare what is called as a profit matrix. So let us do that. Write down first. First you write down. The question requires maximization of profit. requires maximization of profit. Therefore, we first calculate the profit matrix. We first calculate the profit matrix. Profit is equal to how do you write? Profit is equal to selling price minus production cost minus material cost minus transportation cost. And then you prepare this table. Okay. So you'll be writing the formula. Selling price is minus production cost minus raw material. Profit is equal to selling price minus production cost minus material cost minus transportation cost. Write down profit matrix. This type of question is important. And then I will tell you something more also. Okay, shall we start calculating the profits now? As I said, 34 minus 15, the first one. 34 for S1 and F1 combination. 34 minus 15 minus 10 minus 3. So minus 28. 34 minus 28, that is 6. Continuing with S1 and F2 combination. 34 minus 18 minus 9 minus 9. Same way. 34 now minus this 18 minus this 9 minus this 9. So 34 minus 36. 34 minus 36. How much will you get? Minus 2.
Negative 2.
Yes. Same way. 34 minus 14 minus 12 minus 5. So 34 minus 26, 31. 34 minus 31, 3. Then 34 minus 13 minus 9 minus 4. 22, 26. 34 minus 26 is 8. This requirement will be 8. Same way now for the next one. Next one, I come down to S2 now. I come down to S2. S2, the figure is 32. So 32 minus 28. Sorry, 32 minus, not 28. It will be
26. 26.
26. 32 minus 26.
6.
That will be 6. Okay.
Minus 2.
Then 32 minus 27, 34. Minus 2. And 32 minus
26.
26 and 430. That is 2.
2.
Minus 30. 32
2, sir.
minus 30. 32 minus 20 to 27. So it is 5.
5. 1.
31 minus 25 and 5. 30. 35 minus 31 minus 30 is 1. 31 minus 27, 35 minus 4.
Minus 4.
Then 31 minus 26 and 3, 29.
20.
29 is
2.
2. 31
Plus 2.
minus 28 is 3. Then the production capacity is 10, 150, 50, 100. Check whether it is a balance problem. 200, 350, this is 200. It is not a balance problem. 200, this is 350 here. And this is 200, 310. So we are falling short by 40. So let it be as it is now. We are falling short by 40, but this is not what we have to change. This is not what we have to change. We have to change. This is a profit matrix. And if you're going to solve with this, it will be maximization of profit. Simply maximization of profit. But our transportation problem cannot be solved for a maximization. Transportation technique cannot be used for a maximization. Transportation technique can be used only for minimization. So we have to convert this profit into an opportunity cost matrix. So whenever you are having such a problem, first you will calculate the profit matrix. Then you will convert that profit matrix into an opportunity cost minimization matrix. Okay? And then we will convert the unbalanced to a balanced problem. So we have to do it systematically. So below this, we write first.
Can't we just do the opposite of least cost method?
Opposite of this meaning?
Meaning the ones with the highest cost will be cancelled out before.
No. You can't do that.
Okay.
So normally for these problems, we'll be following the VAM only. And we have to first get the profit matrix and then the opportunity cost matrix. So opportunity cost means the loss of profit. That means suppose we opt for one particular option, then we are losing out on the other options. So in that particular manner, we have to solve these questions. Okay. Below this, you write. Number 1. The above matrix is a profit matrix. Is a profit matrix. It is to be converted into an opportunity cost minimization matrix. Opportunity cost minimization matrix. Okay. Now how to do this? For doing this, what we will have to do is, we'll have to first locate which is the highest number. So in the entire cells now, highest number is 8. Okay. From this 8, you minus all the other elements. From this 8, you minus all the other elements. Okay. So write down. Continue the same part. This is done. By subtracting each element. From the highest element 8. From the highest element 8. Okay, that is your first point. All right, point number 2. Point number 2. After converting the profit matrix, into the opportunity cost matrix, we convert the unbalanced matrix by adding a dummy factory F5. Okay, because I have got a less of factories over here, because this total, the capacity is only 310. So I'll have to add one more capacity. That is, one more capacity means one more factory. So I'll have to add one more column, F5. Okay. So now, what will you do? You will add one more column 5, and we'll have total 7 columns. Okay. Total 7 columns will be there. So let's do it. F1, F2, F3, F4, and F5.
So this is called opportunity cost matrix.
Yes. This will be my opportunity cost matrix. Where I will be subtracting each element from the maximum element of 8. So let us do the calculations. 8 minus 6 is 2. I'm going row wise now. 8 minus 6, this is the maximum figure. So 8 minus 6 is 2. 8 minus of minus 2, that is 8 plus 2, will be 10. 8 minus 3 is 5. 8 minus 8 will be 0. Requirement is 80 as it is. Second one, 8 minus 6, 2. 8 plus 2 is 10. This and this will be same. 8 minus 2 is 6 and 8 minus 5 is 3. 8 minus 1 is 7. 8 plus 4 is 12. 7 and 12. 8 minus 2 is 6. 8 minus 3 is 5. 6 and 5. This will be the capacity. Ten, 150, 50, 100. And we were falling short by 40. So the dummy column will have 40. and all the cost will be 0 here. Now to apply VAM. When applying VAM, what do you require? You require to
Penalty.
have penalty column. So we'll have a row penalty. We'll have a column penalty. Okay. Minimum figure is 0. Next minimum figure is also 0. So penalty will be 0. 0 and 2. So it will be 2. Then 0 and 5. So it will be 5. So 2 and 2 will be 0. 10 and 10 will be 0. 5 and 6 will be 1. 0 and 3 will be 3. This will be 0. Maximum over here is 5. Maximum is 5. So we'll go to that particular row. Minimum figure, it is this 0. Allocation will be done. Demand is 150, capacity is 40. So it will be 40 here. Okay. 40 minus 40 is 0. 150 minus 40 is 110. 110. Okay. F5 will cancel. Re-prepare. Without F5 now. F1, F2, F3, F4. Again, we do the penalty. Zero minus 2 is 2. 2 and 3, 1. 5 and 6, 1. 2 and 2, 0. 10 and 10, 0. 5 and 6, 1. 0 and 3 is 3. Maximum penalty is 3. In that minimum cost is 0. Allocation will be done here. So requirement is 80. Capacity is 100. So 80 will come. 80 minus 80 is 0. 100 minus 80 is 20. Row will get cancelled. Copy down the remaining. F1, F2, F3, F4, S2 and S3. Two 10, 6, 3, 120. 7, 12, 6, 5. Ten, 150 and 50, 20. Always check on this requirement should be equal to capacity because we have already done the balancing of the problem. So after that, every stage the problem should be balanced. So requirement total is 230. Capacity total is also 230. Now again, we start with the row penalty. Minimum is 2 and the next highest is 3, so 1. Minimum is 5 and the next highest is 6, so 1. 2 and 7, 5. 10 and 12, 2. 6 and 6, 0. 3 and 5, 2. Highest penalty is 5. Lowest in that is 2. So 10 or 120, whichever is less, so 10 will come. 10 minus 10 will give you 0. 120 minus 10 will make it 110. So F1 will get cancelled. So F2, F3 and F4 remain. S2 and S3 will remain. Ten, 6, 3, 12, 6, 5. 10, 6, 3, 110. 12, 6, 5, 110. Sorry. Two zero two. 150, 50 and 20. Row penalty 3 and 6. 3. 3 3 and 6 is 3 difference. 5 and 6 is 1. Column wise 10 and 12 is 2. 6 and 6 0. 3 and 5 2. So 3 is highest. In that, lowest is 3. 110 or 20, whichever is lower. So 20. 20 minus 20 is 0. 110 minus 20 is 90. F4 gets cancelled. So F2 and F3 remain. S2 and S3 remain. Ten, 6, 12, 6. One 50, 50. 90 and 110. Ten and 6 is 4. 12 and 6 is 6. 10 and 12 is 2. 6 and 6 is 0. This is the maximum penalty. Minimum here. 110 or 50, whichever is less to 50. Fifty minus 50 is 0. 110 minus 50 is 60. Okay. Now F3 will get cancelled. F2 remains. With S2 and S3. Continue the table. Ten, 12, 150. Ninety and 60. Row penalty will be 10 only. This will be 12. This will be 2. $60 or 150, whichever is less, so 60. 60 minus 60 is 0. 150 minus 60 is 90. Row gets cancelled. Only one remains now. 90 and 90. This will also become 0. This will also become 0. Everything cancels. Okay. Now what we will do is this particular form, we have solved the problem and we have got the allocations. Let us prepare this entire thing into one single table now. Okay, showing all the allocations. That is the opportunity cost minimization.
Sir, could you go to the second matrix, opportunity matrix?
Wait, 1 minute. Yeah, the same thing we are going to copy down with the allocations.
Okay.
Second was opportunity cost matrix. Now with the allocations, we'll do it. Opportunity cost matrix with allocation. F1, F2, F3, F4, F5, S1, S2, S3. Now let us write the allocations for each one, wherever the allocations have been done. Starting from the first one. So F4 we had allocation of 80. So go on writing the allocations now. So that you write the allocations correctly. Okay, now see. After you do this, the next thing that you're going to do is, we are not concerned with minimization. Normally, at CMA final, the problem that you will have will always give you a non-degenerative solution. but still will confirm. Number of allocations 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, number of allocations 7. M plus n minus 1. M is number of rows 3 plus 5, 8. 8 minus 1, 7. So number of allocations is equal to 7. That is equal to m plus n minus 1. Therefore, it is a non-degenerative solution. Non-degenerative solution means it's an optimal solution. Okay. Now, if it is an optimal solution, we should be able to calculate the minimum cost. Now, if we are asked to calculate the minimum cost, yes, I will calculate the minimum cost. 10 into, that is minimum opportunity cost. 10 into 2 plus 90 into 10 plus 60 into 12 plus 50 into 6 plus 80 into 0 plus 20 into 3 plus 40 into 0. But we are not supposed to calculate the minimum opportunity cost. We are supposed to calculate the most profitable combination. Now, the most profitable combination taking into consideration the transportation cost. That is why we have done all this solution. And allocation has been done on the basis of that. Allocation has been done on the basis of minimum opportunity cost. Now, once the allocation is done for minimizing the cost, with the allocated units, what is the profit? With the allocated units, what is the profit? So I will have to combine this allocation with the corresponding profit in that cell, which you have got from the first table. That is a profit matrix. Okay. So maximum profit, write down here, maximum profit is equal to, let us write column wise. Okay, we'll go column wise. First column F1, I'm having 10 in S2 F1. So 10 into, let us go to the profit matrix. 10 into 6. Okay, 10 into this 6 is a profit matrix. So 6 is the profit in that cell. Okay, so 10 into 6 plus second column 90 into, what is the profit there? F2 S2. 90 into, what will it be? Minus 2. Am I right? 90 into minus 2 plus 60 into minus 2. Sorry, 60 into minus 4. Correct now? 60 into minus 4. This one and this one. Come to column 3. $50 into 2. 50 into 2 plus 80 into 8 plus 20 into 5 evaluate now. 60 minus 180 minus 240 plus 100. 8 8 are 64, 640 plus 100. 640 and 200 is 640 and 60 is 700. 800, 900. 900 minus 420. 900 minus 420.
Yes.
Okay. Now see, suppose transportation cost was not there. I have given you transportation cost, but suppose the transportation cost was not there, then it would be a very simple problem. Then it would be a very simple problem, because I would be directly going for selling price minus production cost minus raw material cost. I'll get the profit. And if I have to calculate the profit, then I will go for calculation of profit. Now, after that, what I will do is I'll calculate the minimum cost, and from there, I will prepare a profit matrix first. Second, I will prepare a cost matrix. I will not prepare opportunity cost matrix. I will prepare cost matrix. So cost matrix means what? It will be straight away only the cost taken. Production cost plus material cost, 15 plus 10, 25, 18 plus 9, 27, 14 plus 12, 26, 13 plus 9, 22. I will take only this cost matrix and put it in the columns. So I will get the figures for S1, F1, S2, F2, and so on and so forth. Okay. So like this, I will be able to calculate. So it is something where the problem becomes totally different if it was not a transportation problem. But since it's a transportation problem, we will have to solve it in this manner. Okay. So what are the steps here? First, you calculate profit matrix. Second, you calculate what is called as opportunity cost matrix. Opportunity cost matrix is calculated by taking the highest value. The highest value. What did we do? We took the highest value in the profit matrix, that is 8. And all the other elements are subtracted from 8 to get what is called as the opportunity cost matrix. Then we solve by the method WAM. And we go as per the usual method. And then we calculate the optimal solution for that. After getting the optimal allocation is not profit. We get the optimal allocation. Then we take those allocated figures and multiply to the figures of the profits here in each cell. And that will give us the maximum profit. Okay. Now, let us assume that this is not a problem of opportunity cost matrix and profit maximization problem and all that. Let us assume that it is a normal problem of transportation, and we were given this F1, F2, F3, F4. These values are given to us, and this was my final solution. This was my final solution. In that, sometimes, see, if I want to create some interesting thing, what I can do is, I can tell you that one of the routes, that is, because now it is monsoon time, so I'll give you this, that F3S1 route or F3S2 route. F3S2 route is blocked because of sudden floods. F3S2 route, which means I'm talking about a particular route, that is this one. It is blocked because of sudden floods. Now, this particular adjustment I will not consider till I reach my final solution. Now, I told you, this is my final solution. Normal problem of transportation. This is my final solution. After doing that, I will say, array, F3S2 route is blocked. Okay. In that case, this cost will not be taken as 6. In that case, I will say, since the route is blocked, assume that one of your routes are blocked because of floods. There is a landslide, there are floods, and the route is totally blocked. Will any transporter be willing to go over there? No. No transporter will be willing to go over there. But it is essential. Essential supplies have to be transported there. Basic food items have to be transported there. Okay. So you cannot totally cut off that particular thing. You will have to convince a driver, chalo, please get this. I will give you extra money. And at that time, the drivers will extract maximum because they are putting their lives into risk, into danger. their vehicle into the danger. So they will not accept normally. But you say, I'm willing to pay you 5 times more. I'm willing to pay you 10 times more. Please, because there are people who are there. They require essentials, basic essentials. Food is required to be supplied to them. For 2 days, the road has been blocked because of floods. Please do something. You are the only driver who is accustomed to driving in such areas. So you pay him large amount, huge amount, which is more than all the costs which are there in all the other routes. That particular cost, or first of all, I will call this F3S2 route as a prohibited route. It will be called as a prohibited route. And for this prohibited route, the cost will be not 6, but it will be M, where M is an infinity cost. That means a very high cost. You do not know what is the value because that driver is going to charge you whatever he feels. Okay, so he will charge you an astronomical figure, very high figure. We say it is infinity cost. It's not a normal figure. So what he's going to charge depends upon him. So we don't know. So it is infinity cost, and that infinity cost is represented by M. So if there is an allocation, that allocation gets cancelled because the cost is very high. Okay, and there are other things that will follow. So what they will ask you at CMA final level is that they will give you an adjustment like this to see what you do. You just have to say that this particular route is going to be blocked, therefore it is called as a prohibited route. So write this in your answer, that it is going to be called as a prohibited route, and the cost that is going to be there for this particular route will be a very high cost, which will be called as infinity cost, represented by capital M. Okay, so like this you have to write and keep it. Don't solve, because you don't have solving of problems at all. Beyond this you don't have solving. Okay, you don't have solving beyond this. So this is the maximum that you can get in transportation. Fine. These are all problems where you have been solving the entire problems with the object of minimization of the given matrix, the cost matrix, the minimization of the cost. So that is what you are normally doing. Now we can have simpler problems also. I can involve all the 3 methods and give you a very simple problem just to test your knowledge, whether you know all the 3 methods. I don't want you to actually solve the problem, but at the same time, I want to test your knowledge, whether you have the knowledge of all the 3 methods and you can solve. So like that, one type of problem is there. Getting the answer without actually solving the problem. Okay, where I just test your knowledge of the particular methods. So let us come to question number 8 and see what it is, how it is different. Question number 8. Basically, this lecture I wanted to solve these 2 problems only, because everything is otherwise simple. There's nothing in transportation. Question number 8, what they have said is, the following table gives the unit transportation cost and the quantities demanded or supplied. Okay, they are giving you the unit transportation cost and the quantities demanded or supplied as usual at different location for minimization problem. So they have given you 3 routes and 3 centers, R1, R2, R3, C1, C2, C3 and C4, 4 centers here. They are equal to find out which cell gets the 3rd allocation in the IBF solution under each of the following methods, and to give the cell a reference. How do you give a reference of cell? Row first, column second. So suppose I am referring to this particular cell. How will I refer to the cell? R2C1. Okay, I will refer to this as R2C1. So it is row and cell, row and cell, row and cell. So suppose I'm referring to this, it will be R1C3. Okay. So in this case, they are asking you which cell gets third allocation. They don't want you to solve the problem. You understood what I'm saying? So you will have to start with the first step, first cell which is occupied. Second step, which cell is occupied. Third step, which cell is occupied, that cell is your answer. You followed? So third
Yes, sir.
step, whichever cell is occupied, that is your answer. So you have to refer to that cell by the cell name, give the cost per unit of that cell and the quantity that is allocated to that cell. By the three methods, northwest corner, Vogel's approximation method and least cost method. Fine. So let us do this and try to find out the third allocation in each one.
So
Third
for
allocation.
northwest it is R2C2.
Yeah. Let us do this. C1, C2, C3, C4 total. R1, R2, R3 total. They have not given you demand, supply, nothing. It's not important because we know now that it will be this or this, whichever is less. Whichever is less will take. They are not concerned whether it is demand or supply. So first see whether it is balanced or unbalanced. 50, 60, 74. 18 and 22 is 40, 50, 74. Correct. It is balanced. Check always in every problem, whatever may be the nature of question, first check whether it is balanced or unbalanced. 100, 160, 180. Then 120, 80 and 140. C3 is 200, 140 and 60. C4 is 110, 120, 100. Now if it is northwest corner method. Northwest corner method, first allocation will be here. Okay. 10,000 or 20,000, whichever is less. So 10,000. This will cancel. This will become 10. Okay. So first allocation, this cancels off. Second allocation will come here. Okay. Second allocation here, it is again 18,000 or 10,000, whichever is less. So it is 10,000. So 10 will come. 10 and 10 will be 0. 18 minus 10 will be 8,000. This cancels. Second allocation is over. Third allocation comes in this cell. 8 or 38, whichever is less. So 8,000. I'm concerned only with that. Now I stop there. I stop there. I start writing my answer. Northwest corner method. Third allocation is in R2C2. Okay. What is the cost per unit there? 80 rupees. You asked for three things to be written. Cell number, cost per unit and allocation units, allocated units. Cost per unit is 80 rupees and units allocated. Units allocated equals to 8,000. Finished. First part is over. Okay. Chalo, like this now do the second part and third part. Vogel's approximation method and least cost method. Tell me the answers.
Sir, least cost method is R1C1.
R1C1. Okay. What is the cost per unit?
100.
And allocation?
Allocation.
How many units?
Allocation is 10,000.
10,000. Okay.
Because 100 is the least cost, third least cost.
Yeah. So least cost method, you got the answer. Third allocation is R1 C1. Cost per unit is 100 rupees. Allocation is 10,000 units. Okay, do the Vogel's approximation method. Tell me third allocation. Same way you have to do, calculate the penalties. Row wise, column wise.
60.
Yes, anybody with the answer? Third allocation for VAM. You need not do tables again and again. You can do it in the same table. Don't waste time because that is not, you are not going to get marks for that. Straight away you have to solve problem in the same figure. So VAM has to be done. You have to calculate penalty. Okay. So penalty here will be in the first case, row wise it is 100 and 110. So 10. Color 10. 80 and 140. Sorry, 80 and 120 is 40. And 60 and 100 is 40. And 160, 160 is 60. 80 and 120 is 40. 60 and 140 is 80.
It's R2 C2.
Yeah, 1 second. 100, 110 is 10. This is the maximum, huh? So in that case, minimum here is 60. 16,000 or 20,000, 16,000. This will cancel. This will become 6,000. Then we go for this 10 will remain as it is, this 40 will remain as it is, this is cancelled. This 60 will remain as it is, this 40 remains as it is, this 140 and 60 will be 60. And the highest again is this or this, either one.
R2C3.
R2, C3, no?
C2. 80.
R2C2, sir.
R2,
85.
C2 you are getting.
Yes, sir.
R2C3, sir.
R2, C2, okay. 80. R2, C2. Cost per unit is 80. Allocation will be
18,000 units.
18,000 units. Okay. Fine. So clear now? So we have covered all types of problems. In fact, your question number 7 was a little bit different type of problem which I wanted to solve to give you an idea as to what can be asked in transportation. So without requiring your further knowledge of transportation problems, that is, if there is a degenerative solution, then what is to be done? That is not there for CMA final, unfortunately. Otherwise, problems become very interesting because we can proceed after that also and solve the problems and find out what is the optimal solution. So, since it is not there in the syllabus, we are unable to do this. And this is a maximum. And transportation, as far as examination is concerned, hardly 2 questions have been asked. You can see that in your material also, which I have given to you. Hardly 2 questions are asked in the examination. So there are not much questions also. One in December 2018, one was way back in 2009. So you can solve these questions for practice and see if you are getting the answers. This for practice purpose. They are having December 2009. They have normally given, you can see that in the questions, normally examination questions, they give you the method. Method is specified normally. If nothing is given, you can solve by any method, but I would prefer, if time permits, I would prefer the VAM method. That is Vogel's approximation method. Okay. If time is not there, then you go for Northwest Corner method. That is the most simplest one. So we'll stop here for today. Tomorrow I'll start with assignment. Assignment is similar to transportation. Here we are talking about transportation of one goods from one particular area to another area, from one center to another center, from the say production center to distribution center or production center to different customers. In assignment, what we'll be talking about is we'll be talking about assigning jobs to people. So there are 4 jobs and 5 people, or 5 jobs and 4 people, something like that. Or there are 4 jobs and 4 people. So how to allocate the time? So in transportation problem, we were having the cost per unit for transportation. There we will have the time taken by each worker, by each person to do a particular job. So which job will be assigned to which person depends upon the time taken by each person for that particular job. Okay, and then we will have to calculate. Here we calculated minimum transportation cost. There we will have to calculate the minimum time taken, or rather the maximum time taken for solving or for manufacturing a particular commodity. Okay, normally it is a minimum time taken for manufacturing a particular commodity. So that will be the nature of questions in assignment. In examination, transportation plus assignment together has been asked very rarely. Very rarely. They have asked more of LPP. Okay. So tomorrow we start and try to complete assignment as far as possible. Tomorrow 6:30 lecture. So we'll stop here for today. Good night. See you tomorrow. Same time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.